Well, thank you very much, Chairman Alexander. Thank you to all of our colleagues who are joining us, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Schuckert, and Dr. Robinson. I really appreciate all of you being here and sharing your expertise with us today. Like the chairman, many of us are hearing from families in our home state who are deeply concerned about the spread of Zika virus, which can have such tragic consequences, especially for young families. So I'm glad we have the opportunity to speak with experts who are on the front lines of our response efforts and talk about ways Congress can best support this critical work. There is still a lot we need to learn about this virus, but one thing is clear is we cannot wait to act. The scientific consensus at this stage is that 4 out of 5 of those who become infected show no symptoms. For the other 20% who do, the most common result is a week of mild flu-like symptoms. However, in rare instances, there are indications that some people infected with the virus have developed Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a potentially life-threatening neurological condition. There's growing evidence that Zika can lead to microcephaly, a birth defect that usually results in abnormal brain development with possible serious long-term consequences. The CDC has also reported that in Brazil, 2 women miscarried after being infected with Zika and is exploring whether there may be other potential consequences for pregnant women who become infected. The same mosquitoes that carry the virus in South America can be found in many parts of the United States. The virus has spread to Puerto Rico, putting pregnant women there at risk, and many are concerned that it will make its way to the mainland when the warm weather returns. And as of this week, there are cases being reported as far north as my home state of Washington as a result of travel. Speaking for moms and grandmothers across the country, this is deeply disconcerting. So now is the time to prepare for that possibility and develop strategies for controlling the mosquitoes that harbor the virus. As we work to fill in the gaps in our knowledge about the disease, we also need to expand mosquito control efforts as well as laboratory and diagnostic capabilities in states and cities nationwide. We should work to accelerate research and development of effective lab tests, antiviral drugs, and critically, a vaccine. And we need to educate healthcare providers and families about this virus and improve healthcare services for low-income pregnant women in areas where Zika poses a risk. According to the CDC and the Pan American Health Organization, women in many Zika-affected countries face barriers to reproductive health care as well as high rates of sexual violence. I believe it's critical that in Zika-affected countries we do everything we can to ensure women have access to the full range of reproductive health care, including access to family planning services. Democrats are going to continue urging bipartisan work to ensure women everywhere have the ability to plan their pregnancies, especially in light of this virus. The administration has laid out an aggressive plan to fight the Zika virus and has requested supplemental funding to ensure all the appropriate resources are being put towards protecting families here at home and abroad. Some of my Republican colleagues have suggested that additional funding isn't needed to respond to Zika. They believe the administration should simply shift funding away from Ebola response efforts, which are still ongoing. I disagree. We need to both finish the job of responding to the Ebola crisis and act to address the growing threat of the Zika virus. Families' health and safety should not be a zero-sum game. So I'm very hopeful that here in Congress we can put the politics aside and work together to ensure that we do provide much-needed tools and support. And with the health and well-being of many families at risk, I hope we can do so quickly. Mr. Chairman, I would like to include in the record a statement from 25 international and domestic groups supportive of women's health. This statement reiterates the need for prioritizing women's access to the full range of reproductive health care, including family planning, as we respond to this Zika virus. Thank you again to all of our witnesses who are joining here today. I look forward to hearing from you.